recognize the song. You only get about
He
15
might.
seconds of it.
He might.
It's okay if you don't.
It was Texas, it was Tennessee. It was what I had.
We can start that over.
Let's do one more take.
That's why.
I do like the walk-in though. Get you to do that again because that was badass, like a WWE walk-in. I love
Exactly.
it.
All right, we'll go again.
It was Texas, it was Tennessee. It was what I had coming to me.
Howdy, folks. Welcome in. You have reached the Texas to Tennessee podcast. This is episode number 103. My name is Steve. The guy up at the top with the sweet shirt is Soul Gravy.
That's right. Shout out Tim Gooden.
Yep. Shout out to Tim.
It's a good one.
It is. And tonight we are very excited to have our friend Hockett on. Welcome in, sir. How you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing great, man. Doing great. Just get to hang out on Wednesday and chat a little bit. So looking forward to it.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you all for being in on YouTube and Facebook. If you're on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button. It's free, but it means the world to us. We appreciate it. Hockett, if you wouldn't mind taking a couple minutes and giving us a little bit of your backstory, and then we'll get into some fun and games.
Well, it started. It started back in ever since I was a kid back in Oklahoma. Ever since I can remember, started out playing the trumpet, and went through band in school and things like that, and then just picked up a guitar. Probably early teenagers, and I never really put it down, and that kind of just sparked and did all. Just it started me down a path I did never foresee myself not getting off of.
Okay.
So obviously got better. Practice makes perfect. You know things like that, and I started performing live. And it just, I was hooked. There's no going back. This is what I want to do. This is what we're gonna do. Come hell or high water, it's happening.
Nice.
And I moved from the Oklahoma Panhandle. I would play a place down there called Broken Rock Ranch, and we'd have like Stoney LaRue, Dylan Wheeler, and all them guys. They would roll through there, and I would open for them acoustic, and that was a lot of fun. That was really cool. And that really kind of allowed me to see behind the scenes on how things were really going. And that really kind of started my trajectory on how to be able to plug into a scene and things like that. And then I moved up here to Nebraska, and I did just that back in 22.
Okay.
And we've been on a steady incline ever since.
Cool.
So real quick before we get into our normal stuff, we do the play music on TikTok for those that don't know. It's just people getting on there and bullshitting and doing a song swap. A virtual song swap is basically what it is, and even before, I guess maybe we had started the podcast but really hadn't got rolling yet. There was some time, there was space in between episodes, I guess, at the beginning. That's the best way to put that. But either way, so I met Hockett on those lives like that. He just come in and would play songs and bullshit with everybody, and then go about his business, like play some covers, maybe throw out an original. But I didn't know like he had all this like original music going on until I don't even know like what made it come on the radar. Maybe it was one of the other social platforms besides TikTok, or something like something else did. But either way, I'm like, well, hell,
Yeah.
like I thought he was good doing the covers, but now I need to know about the original stuff. So come on come on the show.
Absolutely.
So
Well, Hockett, this is the part of the show.
It's been killer.
Go ahead. Sorry.
It's been a lot of fun.
Cool. This is the part of the show where I get to quiz Soul Gravy on famous folks from your area. So I think Guyman is the closest town to where you're from in terms of having enough folks to where I could find famous people. I don't know if this is the best way to say that, but would that be accurate? I don't know how far you were from Guyman.
nah. Did we lose you?
No, there you are.
Yep. So we're going to use Guyman as your hometown, even though I don't know if that's exactly where you're from, but that's the closest, I think. So for the purpose of this one,
Is where
cool.
I'm from.
All right. Here you go, Soul Gravy. This is going to be a little bit difficult. I'm just going to go ahead and warn you.
Okay.
I think you're going to get one of the
Okay.
one of the five. So
Okay.
we'll see how it goes.
All right.
All right. First one is General Larry D. Welch.
I'm not familiar with his work, but it sounds very important. So
It is. I gave you a hint with the first.
yeah,
thing.
shout out to General.
Yeah. He's a retired 4-star general from the U.S. Air Force. Served as the 12th Chief of Staff at SAC. The 12th Chief of Staff, and was in charge of SAC up in Omaha. So not too far
Okay.
from you up there. Shout out to General Welch, 4-star, pretty impressive. Claudia Breyer is the second one.
No, I don't think I'm sorry, Claudia.
So Claudia passed about 15 years ago. She's a pretty well-known actress. Was actually in the movie Psycho.
Okay.
So shout out
All
to
right.
Claudia. Yeah, she was in other stuff, but that's what she's best known for. Michael D. Brown.
No,
No guesses?
I don't think I'm familiar with Michael D. Brown.
Well, the second President Bush kept calling him Brownie all the time.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember, but he was in charge of FEMA when what was the hurricane in Louisiana, in New Orleans? Katrina.
Yes, Katrina. Yes.
So he's from Guyman as well, former director of the FEMA.
Yeah, politics would not be my strong point. So.
All right, we're gonna save you here. We got
Okay.
music and sports on the next.
Okay.
two, so.
Okay. All right.
Sammy Smith.
Yes. Same. I'm thinking of somebody different. I think. No, I don't think I'm familiar.
I think you are.
Maybe I am.
Yeah.
Sammy Smith. No, I'm thinking of Patty Smith. No. I don't know.
All right. Well, let me tell you a little bit about her name is actually Jewel Faye, but she went by Sammy.
Okay.
Pretty well-known country artist.
That's-
She was the one who sang "Help Me Make It Through the Night,"
Okay.
Jefferson song. So maybe that helps.
No, I mean, I was thinking that she was a classic country singer, but I
Yep.
just couldn't make up my mind because I was thinking Patti Smith, and then
Yep.
that was not correct. And
Right.
anyways,
Her son. Do you know who Waylon Payne is? You
I know that name.
Waylon Payne.
Mhm.
That's her son. Her dad was, his father or her husband was I think was Willie Nelson's lead guitarist for a really, really long time. So kind of
Okay.
a well-known family.
A Willie long time.
A Willie long time.
Okay.
Speaking of, y'all should go check out Lance Rogers' newest song that just dropped last night.
Yes. Yeah, that was cool of Lance to let us premiere that song on the last episode. So
Yes,
Very cool.
Really good. All right, Jeremy Socan.
Goodness, I believe that he's a baseball player.
He's a
But
basketball player.
That's basketball is what I meant to say.
Yes. Yeah, he actually current player for the San Antonio Spurs. So good 0 for 5 tonight, Soul Gravy.
Thanks.
Hockett, thanks for letting us make fun of Soul Gravy for a couple minutes. We'll get into chatting with you now and asking you a couple questions. This first one, am I coming through okay?
Yeah.
Okay. First one is called the pie question. And I'm going to give you a musical pie, and you have to divide it up into 4 sections. The 4 sections of the pie are songwriting, recording, performing, and then everything else that goes into running your own individual business.
Hang on just a second, guys.
Yeah,
One
it's okay.
second. Okay. What were the pieces of this pie?
Yep. So you have songwriting, recording, performing, and then everything else that goes into running your own individual business. Everything that's not necessarily directly music related. My first question is, where do you, out of those 4 areas, where do you kind of naturally go to? Where's the area that you think, hey, this is what I'm best at?
Performing by hands down. Well, it's kind of a toss up between writing and performing. The other stuff you got to be. You gotta have it all, but yeah, I would say performing is where I really kick her in the ass.
And is that something you knew when you picked up the trumpet, or I mean, did that take a while for you to figure out like, oh, this is my jam?
Yeah, it was still in concert band when because I would play I'd play the solos and stuff throughout school and whatnot. So yeah, it was. And then when we would do pep band for basketball and stuff, that was kind of where it really kicked off. And then it kind of came natural with the guitar and the microphone.
Right.
You get practice. You get a lot of practice when you're screaming at the windshield of the tractor.
Sure. With regard to the songwriting piece, it seems like everybody's got a little bit of a unique process. Do you have a specific process in terms of getting a song out for writing purposes?
Well, it all just depends on the vibe of what because I'll be at work and I'll pull my phone out, fire up the notepad, and I'll write something down because it's always
ticking.
It never stops between the ears,
Right.
So usually I start with the chorus first because that'll kind of ring out, and then figure out off of that. Kind of spice out of upbeat. Do we want to do, a certain key? Do we want to do, what type of rhythm we want to do? Chord progressions. It all just kind of spider webs out, and it's kind of hard to explain. It just kind of.
Yeah. So you start kind of middle in. It sounds like in.
I'll do the. Once I get the chorus figured out in the hook and the overall, kind of main concept of the story, then I'll go back to the beginning and then I'll start building the story and then tie it into the chorus and then finish it at the end.
Cool. And is that something that you prefer to do on your own, or do you like to co-write? Or
it all depends. I have lots of ideas, and then I'll go into the studio. I have a team in the studio that I work with, and then we kind of throw everything on the table and make a goulash of a lot of stuff, and we'll pull lyrics from this idea, and and rhythms from over here, and we'll kind of mesh them up, and it's an interesting process. I think when we recorded Dotted Line, it was my first one I dropped. We were in the studio for 14 straight hours.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Banging that one out.
Yeah. And
it was.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. It was cool. We made, like the shakers and stuff you hear in that song were a Gatorade bottle and pinto beans and some rice.
Nice.
Awesome.
That's the kind of insight I like.
Exactly.
I gotta find my shit. Where's my shaker? Around here somewhere. Come on, out,
Oh.
Austin. I'll find it.
Are you trying to audition?
Maybe. I mean, you never know. I get lucky and they'll be like, "Hey, that guy wasn't awful. We'll let him at least work a shaker." Respectfully to all the great shakers out
Shaker
there.
players.
Yeah.
Add props to the shaker players out there.
Yeah. So I guess on the performing side, just to give us kind of a rough estimate, how many gigs are you doing a month, or if you want to do a year or whatever? I don't know how you keep track of it, but
Oh, it varies. It's seasonal. You know, wintertime slows down a little bit and things like that. I'll do, I think, 50 shows a year right
Okay.
now.
Nice. And is that a sweet spot for you, kind of where you want to be, or are you
Oh,
at
no,
a
if
place
I-
where
if
you'd
I
like
could-
to play more?
65, I would, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I'd be on the road and I'd never be home if I had it my way.
I get it. All right, cool. Soul Gravy, would you like to hop in?
Yeah, I guess I want to start off by just because it's the topic of the weekend, whatever you want to call it, and then I'm not going to be able to make it to.
Sorry, Soul Gravy.
Steve there and Hockett are both going to be headed to Stillwater. Hockett's got a gig that he's playing, but he's also going to the Boys from Oklahoma show. So I'm super jealous, and then hope it's an awful time for both of them. No, but it's as somebody that's a West Tennessee guy, it's few and far between the people that even know who ragweed is. So one of the reasons why the Soul Gravy name even come up on TikTok or whatever was just to meet people. If someone said Soul Gravy, you know any ragweed songs? Like, oh, we can be friends now. You know what I mean? It opened the door. It opened the door, to commonalities. And if you know ragweed, that means you know Turnpike and you know
Oh yeah.
Stony and whatever else, But anyway, so I guess let's talk about that stuff. Has the red dirt scene always kind of been in your landscape, or is that
Yeah.
something you found later?
So when I was a kid, Ragweed and the Eli Young band and Stony and all them guys would come through Guyman. They'd go through Amarillo. I watched these guys growing up, and when I'd go down to Amarillo to the Midnight Rodeo, Ragweed would be in there, Eli Young would be in there, Stony LaRue would be in there, just on any given weekend, and that being able to have them all come back together for one show is insane. It's absolutely insane. That, and I get to rock out Friday night on top of that. So, I mean, I'm ready to leave now.
If we have folks that are looking to try to find you on Friday night, where should they come?
Go to my Facebook page. You can find me at Hockett, and then I've got the flyer posted there. I've also got it posted on my TikTok, which is at the Muffin Man.
Muffin Man, that's right.
You get it.
Oh, Jerry Lane.
You go to my TikTok. It's posted there, and the address is posted on the flyer because it was a private show, and then it went to being a public show. So bring a cooler, and bring a chair, and we're gonna get down about 9 o'clock, and we're gonna play all night long.
Nice. Very cool.
It's cool to how many folks I've kind of talked to that are gonna making a weekend thing of it, even if they only have one night ticket or whatever. They're just going to. It's not a festival, but it might as well be a festival, if that makes sense. It's not, it's not a traditional festival, but it kind of turned into one.
Honestly,
Yeah, it turned into one real quick. They were just going to do a Friday and Saturday show, I do believe, and it sold out in 20. Both shows sold out in 20 minutes. So they added Thursday and Saturday, or Thursday and Sunday, and the same thing happened. I sat in the queue for straight. But then I found them on SeatGeek, so
okay.
hit them that way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, no disrespect to festivals, but when you look at the lineup for all the different options that are in town that week.
I think that's what I was meaning as far as it
It's
didn't
crazy.
start out as a festival, but once they started adding the things around town and the artists that are going to be there, then it became kind of a festival vibe,
Yep.
which is really cool.
Hope Stillwater can hold us.
We got several homies of the podcast besides Hockett there that's going to be playing around town. Lance Rourke and Adora and all these different folks. So we're super happy for them to get on those bills and you know, folks like it's cool to see. So.
Oh yeah.
But so when you first started like playing out, I'm sure it was in a cover band situation. I'm always kind of curious, like, you know, when we're going to listen to your original music, but I'm always kind of curious that first cover band kind of thing. What was the music that was being played? Was cause some people are, you know, they'll be in the heavy stuff, and then next thing you know, they're writing sad folk songs.
Well,
that can go all over the place.
That's exactly what happened here. I was in a heavy metal band, and now I'm writing sad cowboy music.
Sorry to steal
They're
that.
not that different. I mean,
No,
honest,
it's funny.
yeah. Yeah, we've had this conversation before, but you know, there's less difference between metal and some of the even not super dark country music, like structure wise, is not that different.
So what are some songs that would have been covered in that band?
Oh man, we did some As I Lay Dying, Megadeth, Metallica. We did a little Slayer, did some Pantera. You know, we hit them all. We hit all the big four.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we throw some Nirvana in there. We throw some Punk, some Offspring, and stuff like that.
Now I want to see. Now I need to see that
Do
go
we have
down.
videos?
Is there proof?
There's some videos out there.
Say again.
Are there some videos out there of your previous work?
Oh, I mean, this was back really before the internet took off. Whenever this was a thing, so if it's on like a
camera.
So we're not getting the. Yeah, he's not going to let that be seen.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Completely understand. But I guess when did you kind of just find the style that I know this is probably an evolution that's still not exactly where you want it to be, but
we're nowhere close to where I really want it, but we're on the journey, and that's what being an artist is all about. Your sound's going to evolve, your sound's going to change over time,
right?
And I'd say probably about close 5-10 years ago, it kind of started to go into the more bluesy route, the darker writing, just the style that I've developed where I'm at now. I took the best of country, I took the best of rock and roll, and then I mixed it the way that I mixed it, and I think it's turning out all right. So far, anyway.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking that would be a good lead into to the single that we were going to play to kind of give a taste of what where you've landed at this point in time. Anyways, so can you give us a little rundown on that? I know we're a little ahead of schedule. We're not quite halfway, but it seemed like a good spot to add that. Yeah, give us a little rundown on it.
It's every dude's been there, you know. It's super relatable because I've been through it, and you get used up, chewed up, spit out, things like that, and you get addicted to it. You know, just toxic women. I just something about somebody that's about 2.5 seconds away from a grippy sock vacation that just doesn't.
Yeah, we've all been there. All right. Well, the name of this song is Gravedigger. Hockett, you and I are going to go silent for this one. So that little microphone button, and then Soul Gravy's going to give us a listen.
All right. Here we go. Y'all check it out. That's his latest release. It was come out, I believe, February 14th, I believe. Is that was Valentine's Day? Am I right about that? Was that on Valentine's Day? Oh, you sly sucker there. Okay. Yeah. Now knowing the your description of the song and that it came out on Valentine's Day, that makes it even better. So, all right, here we go. Hockett and Gravedigger.
Black dress, green eyes. You never know, she's trouble in the head tonight. Yeah, right. Snuck in, a good vibe. She's nothing but the devil in a cheap disguise.
What's that word? Oh, okay.
She fell from hell to keep what she could kill. She's a gold digger, digging my grave for me. With every damn time she's out here watching me bleed. She got everything, but it's never enough. Cashing in on all of my love. Stole my heart, and now I can't ever leave. She's a gold digger, digging my grave for me. My heart let go. I wish I could say that I didn't even know, but I know. Gave up and settled down. Every year's the head that lost the crown. She fell from hell to keep what she could kill. She's a gold digger, digging my grave for me. With every damn time she's out here watching me bleed. She got everything, but it's never enough. Cashing in on all of my love. Stole my heart, and now I can't ever leave. She's a gold digger, digging my grave for me. I'm free, come hell or high water, one way or another. She got the deed to an old pine box, yeah, 6 feet up to drop me to my knees. When she loaded that gun, but I pulled the trigger, she finally laid me down in the cold hard ground. She's a gold digger, digging my grave for me. She's a gold digger, digging my grave for me. With every damn time she's out here watching me bleed. She got everything, but it's never enough. Cashing in on all of my love. Stole my heart, and now I can't ever leave. She's a gold digger, digging my grave for me.
All right. So I thought I saw a shaker. So dig that. When you were hitting that lower register, it reminded me of a I'm talking and then the picture's still up there. Damn it. I'm a professional.
It's a cool picture.
It is.
It's actually a great
I'm
picture.
sorry. Too many things going on at the same time.
Yeah, all good.
I got caught in the screen watching you play the shaker. And then yeah, damn it. Anyways, so the lower register on that reminded me of the homie of the podcast, Nathan Hunt of Shaman's Harvest. He has that style. I mean, the music is a little bit different, but the as far as the vocal wise, it I can definitely hear now that you mentioned that stuff. I can hear the rock influence in the songs. So
When there's that
definitely
little sizzle
Yeah,
in his voice.
I try to keep it on the rock side of country music, I guess, if that makes sense.
understand.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I like the sizzle too. Like there's just that little. It's not. Sometimes you get that real gravelly voice that is over the top and sounds great, and we have a bunch of folks that both Soul Gravy and I enjoy that have that, pretty aggressive gravel. But yours has like this really cool tone, and then it's got just a little bit of sizzle there. So, yeah, I like that.
Or you can't hear him? No. Oh man, he was.
Well, I'll
He
save the
was.
compliments for
Yeah, I
later.
know he was talking shit so bad. No, no, it was a great compliment, and you didn't hear him.
That's all right. Well, we can see it on the replay.
Well, thank you.
We have a couple people in the chat that are in the Nebraska area too, which is cool to see people roll through there. That from your semi-local area. So that's cool. We've had a couple artists that have been on the podcast from Nebraska. So shout out to that.
Absolutely. Yeah,
And they
thanks,
actually
Casey.
they knew the last question too, which is I wasn't sure how far that went west. So that was nice to know.
We'll find out. You got to stick around for the
Exactly.
next 20 minutes or so to find out.
Exactly.
the answer to that. Can I ask one?
Yeah.
All right. Hockett, for somebody maybe who hasn't seen your live show, how would you describe what your live show what's the look and feel for that?
So what Talbot was what he was asking
Sorry, you can't
was
hear me.
if when someone comes to your live show, give them a kind of a preview of what to expect at a Hockett live show.
Oh man, it's in your face from as soon as we walk out on stage to whenever we're not. It's a roller coaster. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of high energy. We'll be up here, then we'll hit rock bottom's basement, and then we'll be right back up here. It's a cool.
Are most of yours full band?
Yes. But I do still do a lot of acoustic shows. I think it's cool to be able to reset the palette like that to, draw back from, the big live shows and then find a dive bar and just get real intimate with it. It allows for it sparks a lot of creativity.
Yeah. I can completely see that. You can listen to the audience more than when you're with a full band setup.
Absolutely.
And then if you would like to translate Soul Gravy, the other question that I wanted to ask, how far out does Hockett plan his music and kind of maybe what's coming down the road in terms of new stuff?
Okay, I've never been a translator before. This is
cool.
new. I know. I feel really important. And you're closer to him distance-wise than I am, which is the funny part.
It must be tornadoes.
We wanted. He was asking when you plan out your music and you're going to release music, kind of how far out you're looking.
I'm going to the studio in June, so it all just depends on what all we're wanting to do with it, how simple it's going to be, and stripped down it's going to be, or how complex the next track that we're going to drop is really going to be. It all really depends, when we get in there and we kind of all put our heads together and figure out what we're going to be doing.
What about your gigs? As far as how far do you travel these days? I know you still have to work for a living and things like that too. But
yeah, and it's really cool because where I'm working at is really they're like you got rock star stuff to do. Go do it. We'll be here when you get back, and that's
great.
That's been a big blessing. But down to Oklahoma, North Texas, we'll go down there. I'm looking to try to get down around Amarillo and stuff like that. We'll go out to Colorado. Playing the Sturgis Rally this year up at the Stonehouse in Belle-Fourche.
Nice.
That'll be fitting.
Yeah.
So Gravy, do you
very
remember
fitting.
who was from Belle-Fourche? Somebody that was born that we had on the
I
show?
don't remember who was from Belle-Fourche.
Tennessee Jet was born in
Oh,
Belle-Fourche.
okay, a Tennessee Jet.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like Tennessee Jet. Those guys are cool.
Yeah, absolutely. He was born in Belle-Fourche. I don't know if
They
you
put
can
out
remember.
really good.
Yeah, he said he was born there, so that's cool. That's cool.
I know.
Yeah, that's really cool. As far as the you had some new things coming up though, as far as you've gotten with some new on the business side of things. You've started working with some new folks. All right, can you talk about any of that stuff or?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Last summer, I got brought on board with United Republic Records, and they're an indie label. And everything that goes into what you would think an indie label would be is what they have created, and that it's pretty cool being able to have not have the artistic leash, so to speak, I guess you could say, and be able to really get out there and really explore some stuff and be able to, and it's opened up a lot of networking opportunities as well.
So you can tell a huge, as far as gigs and just releasing music, from doing that strictly in house to signing even with a independent label, so to speak.
Yeah.
That normally independent and label don't necessarily go hand in hand, but it's great that there's avenues like that. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's cool. It's cool. It's really, I guess you could say, breathe a fresh breath of life into the scene, in the Nebraska scene, in the heart of what we're calling the flyover country scene. And it's brought a lot of artists together under one roof, and just the production company in the area, and then things like that. It's cool what's happening out here.
Are there some artists that maybe we should be aware of that are part of that label?
Yeah, I guess he can't hear you at all anymore.
No.
Any other artists on that label that we should be aware of?
Kimberly Meyer.
Kimberly Meyer. Okay.
And Casey Musman, he's out of Iowa. Kimberly Meyer is from the eastern side of Nebraska. And Casey's from Iowa.
Okay.
So and then there's another band on there called Generations. They're on there as well.
Yeah, that's I guess for folks that music folks, they'll understand that what you're talking about exactly. But what are some some things, I guess when you say networking and things like that, what are some things that this situation you said it opens doors, but what are some it's a little behind the scenes as you can give. What are some things that really does help out with the mom and pop business situation that you're in?
Being able to get on the bigger stage and get into the bigger rooms and things like that, financially is a lot better. Booking opportunities and being able to do really cool stuff like festivals, rally, being able to be that band on stage at these major events and having the opportunity to do that is life-changing.
That's cool. As far as I know that stuff, we hear those stories all the time, as far as just when you're trying to do that stuff in-house, and the rejection, or the not even the rejection emails, but the no response emails, and how difficult all of that stuff is, just to have someone in your corner to help open a door a little bit so that you can show your worth and your show and all that stuff. I'm sure it is a welcomed. Well, I'm reading the comments now. Goodness, yeah. No, I don't have him. Yes, I guess I am the producer. I don't have anybody muted. No, I should every now and then, just to mess with him, but no, I don't.
That'd be fun. Well, I've got more questions if you want, Soul Gravy, but
go
if
ahead.
not, I can bounce out. I'm curious, what's the most common misconception that folks have about Hockett?
Okay. Oh goodness, I feel like the baseball, the guy that has the guy that has the translator in the news conference,
Oh yeah.
I'll tell
you what this sounds like.
So what's the most misconception about Hockett?
Um, that I can tan. That's a big one right there.
That you can tan. Okay, fair enough. You just get red, huh?
Looking like me. I mean, I've got a couple mirrors in the house. I see it too. But you see me walking out on stage, and then what you get as far as a live show, people are like, oh my God. It happens all the time.
Put your clothes back on.
Yeah.
Sir?
Why did it?
Okay, Steve from Texas to Tennessee, your question?
My question? All right.
Okay.
Soul Gravy, thank you for giving
I'm
me the
mediating.
opportunity. I'm curious how social media fits into kind of his daily or weekly activities and kind of how he goes about it.
Social media. How do you, is that? Do you like it or do you hate it? Does it fit? How does it fit into your plan?
I love it, and I love it, and I hate it.
Fair.
You know, it's a great way to get the word out. It's a great way to connect. You know, like we met on TikTok, and but having to stay on top of it because the mentality of the mob, they're like the worst case of ADHD I've ever seen in my life, and you got to stay on top of things, otherwise you're going to look up and the world's going to be 50 miles in front of you. So in a sense, like social media anymore nowadays, because artists rely so heavily on that, because that's how, like I said, we broadcast our stuff. It's damn near a full-time job.
Well, there's a lot of people that is their full-time job for artists and things like that. I mean, see them on tour, you know what I mean, and everything, which honestly I can, like, talking to you guys, it makes complete sense why when they start unloading things off of their schedule, why the what was it, Colton Moore, his drummer, is a social guy. You know what I mean? Just things like that. It just makes sense why you would unload that plate a little bit, because it would be overwhelming.
Yep.
It's ideal to find the photographer that wants to run social too. Birds with one stone.
It'd be good to have a drummer that can take photos and run.
Yeah, we need a bass player that can run socials and a drummer that can take pictures. Right,
exactly. What about the band situation? I don't want to if it's not something that's permanent or long term or whatever, I don't want to open that door. But if it's a situation you would want to talk about your guys, is that?
Yeah. I got Jaron Brown on drums, and he's killer. He's got one hell of a groove. And
can he take pictures?
Huh?
Can he take pictures?
I don't know.
Sorry. Now he's going to be fine. We're going to find out now.
He might be able to. And then I got Aaron Haluska on bass, and he just locks in. He's solid. Them two guys, when they get together, they form a solid foundation for us to build on, especially live. The groove that those two have together is incredible.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah. And then we got Riley Volkmer on lead guitar, and he's from the Kearney area, and he's face melter. Just he is. He's so good. I just take a step back whenever he does this thing. It's like, hey, you get after it, dude.
Does it? I'm always curious. Like when you have a band, like, I mean, you can tell, when people are close or proud of the folks that they play with. Is that? I know you're pushing your music and the brand and all of that stuff, but also when you have a chance to put your team out there in front of people, is there kind of like another proud?
They are.
Like, is that a proud moment for you, for your folks to get to see
100%. It's I wouldn't be where I am without them. We wouldn't have the live show that we have if I didn't have those guys up there jamming with me. You
That's
know,
cool.
just because everybody brings their own style. Everybody's kind of got their own persona on stage, and it just evolves. All the attitudes and everything kind of clash and evolve into this one raw thing. You know, it's one of those things you just kind of you gotta come to a show to check it out.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, we don't talk about that quite enough. I don't think sometimes, as far as a lot of artists, they have to do the hired gun route, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. It just depends on your situation and who you find and life and everything else. But when an artist does have that band that's with them for a little while, and they're super proud of it, that's a whole nother different thing of taking your group and your buddies and your homies to a show and be like, check out the guys I get to play music with.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's so much talent out here. There's so much talent in my camp, even on the production side and the studio side of things. I work with a studio out here called Jack, and they're great. The things that where their mind goes, and in conjunction with being able to navigate with the artists and things like that, it's cool. This is one of the coolest things I've ever got to do.
Well, I can't wait to kind of touch base again at a different restaurant in a year from now or whatever, and see what see what
Yeah.
where the sound is a little different, and where because I know you're just kind of getting rolling with the kind of situation that you have right now. So I'd love to get an update at some point in time. So that's cool. Talwo, you want to get into the rapid fire? You want me to do them since I'm translating?
It might make sense to have you do them, I think,
Okay.
sadly, but actually that's probably positive. So go ahead, fire away. I'll just watch.
All right. All right. We'll go with we'll go with the what's an album that you have bought the most times? Bought it, wore it out, or lost it and had to replace it.
Aerosmith, Toys in the Attic.
Okay, that's a different lane than we get sometimes. That's a classic album though.
Oh yeah.
All right. All right. We'll piggyback off of that. If you were stuck on an island, you have one album that you can take with you. Is it still Toys in the Attic, or is it a different one?
Oh God, no. If that's a completely different ball game there.
Okay.
Probably. Metallica.
Metallica what?
Reload.
Okay. All right. I wasn't expecting that one when you were naming, Megadeth and Slayer and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm a '90s kid, so I still love those Load and Reload albums too. So
They're so underrated, and people talk so much trash on those albums, but that really unlocked their emotional side of their writing and how I feel like they didn't really grieve Cliff until those two albums, just because of how they turned everything on its ear.
And then Saint Anger came along, and they were like, you know what, Load and Reload are actually really 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 good.
Yeah,
Also, these kids. Not really, but whatever.
I think I'm in that area of age and Metallica fandom or whatever, where I don't like. I love And Justice for All and Ride the Lightning and all that stuff, but I grew up on the Black Album. Like that's kind of where that was coming out at the right time period of my youth or whatever when that hit. And I love all of it, but the Black Album is still from front to back. That's tough to beat that one. All right. This is a different one that I haven't asked too much. Um, what is a TV show? You might not be a TV person, but what is a TV show that if you could get your music involved, a TV show, movie, anything like that, that you could have your music premiered on? What would it be or featured on?
Oh, that's a good one. Probably the next season of Fallout. That would be cool.
Okay, that would be fitting.
That would be.
I was like I was wondering like if you would go like America's Funniest Home Videos or something like that, just jackass or what. But your answer was better than mine. Um, what's a we'll still stay on the TV. What's a TV show that you watch now as an adult that your family would have watched when you were a kid?
Would not watch or
Would have watched, like a tradition sort of thing.
Oh, the History Channel.
Just your family or whatever watched it.
Yeah,
Now then you grow up and you're sitting in front of the TV watching it.
Oh man, I could talk about World War II for a week and a half straight.
Understood. That's
Yeah.
my dad is the king of useless knowledge because of all of those shows, how everything is made and whatever else, and now I do it too. So
Yeah.
completely.
100%.
All right. We'll move on to the last question and the most important question. So now I'm curious. I think Oklahoma is safe. I'm not sure if you about Nebraska, but we're trying to get the word out about Little Debbie's. So, Hockett, what is your favorite Little Debbie snack?
Oh, zebra cakes, hands down.
I guess he's heard of them.
That was an impressively fast answer.
I know.
Shout out to the zebra cakes.
All right.
Big time hoe for some zebra cakes, man.
Well, that's what we're shooting for here.
Yep.
We were trying to think of the most, like a trailer park question that we could ask and not be serious about things, and that's where me in the first episode landed. So, but anyways, all right, guys. If you don't follow Hockett on all of the socials, Instagram, Facebook, and all that stuff, make sure you do. Wherever you stream your music, make sure you go and check out all that. New song that you just heard earlier came out in February.
14th.
He's getting on Valentine's Day, and then he's got new music or trying to get some stuff together for the summertime. So be on the lookout for that. On TikTok, the Muffin Man. Like I said, one of the things that I thought was cool as far as the reason why I just assumed he wasn't doing what he's doing now is because he would just hop in folks' lives, and meet folks and when you do stuff like that, it's a wide range of I don't want to talent or experience or whatever you want to call it, just a huge goulash of all these different folks from everywhere. Some that have just got started, some that have been doing it forever and are tired of the bar scene, so now they just play in the bedroom and all, to people that write songs but never play in public. All these different kind of folks. So just as I think it's cool that you enjoy doing stuff like that. So.
Oh yeah, it's awesome, especially when you get into a big a live and just seeing what people's setups are, and you can talk to it's a great way to network, meet people, and it's awesome. The TikTok artist pool is insane.
It is
insane with talent.
Yeah, sometimes you don't ever know what to expect, and then sometimes people come in a box and be all shy, and then they open their mouth and what I mean, and everybody just shuts up and
wow.
You just never know what to expect, and which is cool that people have an avenue to do so.
Oh, absolutely.
Because Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Just, I mean, I wouldn't have played music near as much if it wasn't for that avenue and to meet people and to get comfortable. Another way to do that, and when you don't have venues to play and things like that, it's just another way to learn. So,
Absolutely, absolutely.
all right. Well, anything else you want me to translate?
Well, I just wanted to say.
Come to a show, support the local music.
Go ahead, Steve.
Oh, well, I was just going to say, folks, tune in next week, and I'm just going to do this, and I'm going to be like Soul Gravy, ask the question about tribute bands, and we'll just feed you questions all night, which would be kind of fun.
It would be fun. The problem is remembering the long question after, you know what I mean?
Yeah. The brain's,
Okay, Hockett, tribute bands, yay or nay?
Yeah.
Whatever floats your boat.
If they can pull it off, and a tribute band is, I want to be this band, so I'm going to be this band. If they can pull it off, great. If not, work on it.
All right, fair enough. Okay, I just translating the last question.
Appreciate
All right,
that.
yeah, tune in. We'll swap this around next week. We'll see how well. Yeah. All right. Like I said, make sure y'all go follow Hockett. I appreciate your time, man. And we'll catch up soon.
Absolutely. You guys are in Stillwater. Come see me.
Yep.
Absolutely. See you, man.